Little known fact about me, I have just the slightest bit, by the slightest bit, I mean a lot of stage fright,
Okay.
which is actually how I started writing in the first place. 'Cause I thought that would help me get better at like singing while playing
Yeah.
guitar. For some disconnected reason, that felt like the segue.
Uh-huh.
Um, and instead, I just found out, no, I actually just really love writing.
Got
So
it.
we're still working on the singing aspect, but the writing is in place.
So do you like actually play guitar and sing in public in any places? Have you ever done it?
No, no. I've actually been thinking 2026 is going to be the year I busk just for the hell of it, just to try it. Yeah, but like I'm self-taught. I've only been playing for, I actually it's like 6 years now, but
Okay.
it's been a learning curve, and yeah, I've just never like I've played for friends and stuff,
Uh-huh.
but still like that spotlight, I hate it. So.
Yeah. What did that look like? So 6 years ago or more, you're like, I'm gonna learn to play the guitar. So I'm assuming guitar, right?
Yeah, it's guitar. Yeah, it's I always wanted to. I actually took lessons as a kid. I
Okay.
always wanted to learn to play, and I don't know, it just didn't make sense. Like the strings didn't make sense. I couldn't figure out like I never studied music theory, so I didn't really understand what was happening.
Uh-huh.
I had friends throughout college, like the artists group. So we had musicians and painters and all this, and we'd sit around doing what we were doing and playing instruments, and that was really fun. And I kind of gravitated to the drums because that's just physical, right? Like that's just hear the rhythm and produce it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no technicality. I mean, there is plenty of technicality, but there's no like overt technicality in that.
Mm-hmm.
But then always, it stuck with me. I had friends like try to teach me and it just didn't click.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was walking home from work one day and there's a guitar shop, like an instrument shop, a couple blocks over from my house. And
Mm-hmm.
I walked in, I actually bought a ukulele because that felt more manageable. And 2 months later, I got my first guitar.
What kind of guitar was it?
It's a bear. It was the wrong choice. I'm not
Okay.
like a large person.
Okay.
I'm 5'2", and like I don't have like musical hands, right? Like we're like stout.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up getting a dreadnought because that's what everybody said I should get. Acoustic dreadnought. Huge bear of a thing. It feels like I'm hugging a bear every time I play
Uh-huh.
it. And I still mess around with it a bit, but I ended up moving toward a like thin line classical guitar,
Mm-hmm.
which just feels, and it's also less loud because I live in an
Okay.
apartment.
But still acoustic.
Yeah, it's acoustic electric, but I usually
Okay.
play it acoustic.
Got it. So cool.
But you know me.
This is one of my dreams. So I might maybe today I'll reach out to I had a student, so I was a professor at NC State for a while, and
Mhm.
one of my students was just like an incredible guitar player. He could shred the electric guitar,
Nice.
and I've kept up with him. It was biomedical engineering. He graduated, and I don't know, it wasn't his bag or whatever. I think he went and worked at a guitar shop for a long time, and he's a professional adult, like with kids, married and stuff. This is a long time ago. But I've kept up with him, and every now and then I reach out to him. I'm like, I want you to take me guitar shopping, and I've hinted at
Mhm.
this because I really do want to learn to play too. I don't know how similar our stories are. I gravitated to the drums also as a kid.
Mhm.
I've got this like uh I hate school and I hate teachers like theme that runs.
Yeah, I've started picking up on that in your stories. I'm the opposite. I was an absolute nerd. Okay, absolute love learning.
Dude, I mean I love learning, but But man, teachers, and I think I've
Hmm.
got these like when it comes to music, it was for me as a kid, it was like I want to play the drums, and my parents were that's too loud. That's going to make too much
Mm.
noise, so you can't have a drum set, and then they wanted me to learn how to play the piano, and the piano teachers, like I don't know if this is universal piano teacher. I don't think it is, but I feel like nearly everyone that I talk to has had a piano teacher who made them hate the piano.
Hmm.
And I've got this whole thing like, yeah, okay, you have 100 students and one of them becomes a concert pianist, but the other 99 hate piano for the rest of their lives. Like this is sort of this picture that I have in my head, but that's what happened. That's what happened to me. And then my parents would say, like, will you play for the guests? Like, no, I don't want to play for the guests. But then when I'm practicing, they would close all the doors in the house because they didn't want to hear me practice. And I was like, this is
Hmm.
bullshit, right? Like, I hate this.
Double
Um,
standard.
it's a double standard. I hate it. Uh, and I never got good at music. And I would say things like, I just suck at me. I'm not good at it. I can't learn it. And I am stopping all of that, right? Like in the past, this is in the past decade. It's like the whole I'm inflexible. I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. I just published a piece. Probably my most recent one is like yoga taught me anything is possible. It's like no, I can do this. So I'm excited to go on a. I can learn the guitar. I'm gonna buy that electric guitar and yeah. So anyway, I'm blabbing.
No,
Um,
I mean, I also had a bad piano teacher. My mother desperately wanted me to be like the girly girl, the girliest of the girls. She
oh.
tried to put me in ballet. I wanted to do taekwondo.
Hmm.
She wanted me to be at the piano. I was like, no, I want drums.
Yeah.
Um, and they actually gave in and rented a drum kit for me. I
Hmm.
think I was like 8 or 9 years old. That
Yeah.
thing was in our house for 2 days. 2 days. My mother came in and she was like, absolutely not. Right? Because when you're learning, it's just noise. Like there's no
Yeah.
rhythm in it. Like it's
Yeah.
just noise. Um, you're still finding your hands and finding your feet, and it was just bad. But learning the guitar was an interesting process because it sounded horrible at first,
Hmm.
but I just let it sound horrible and worked through that. And so,
Hmm.
like, if I have one piece of advice, get that guitar,
Hmm.
get a cheap guitar that you don't mind selling later and buying something nicer, but just get something that like sounds good, but isn't like,
Hmm.
gonna just sit and collect dust and be, a holder of shame in the corner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then just like let yourself suck.
Yeah.
Let yourself suck for however long. The nice thing about the electric is you can plug it into headphones and nobody else has to hear it.
Yep.
I went the acoustic dreadnought route, so my
Hmm.
partner was like, "I'm moving out," and so was the cat. Like this is terrible. But it took a few weeks to like actually start sounding like music rather than
Hmm.
just noise. But it was so worth it. Like, and every single milestone has been even better because it just you don't really stop learning, right? Like I'm nowhere near. There's
Hmm.
still stuff that I'm like, "Oh, I can't do that. But now I know all I have to do is set myself to learn it, sit down and take the time, and I
Yeah.
will, right?
Yeah. That's
And I think
awesome.
that's, like when I say I love learning, it's that. It's the like, you have to be stubborn about it if you really want to
Hmm.
do it, but
Yeah.
you should
How do you
absolutely do
manage
it.
all these things? So you're teaching yourself the guitar. You write. You've got like a job, right?
I actually freelance. I quit my job recently. I was a full-time graphic designer,
Uh-huh.
but I just I was a full-time teacher for a long time. I quit. I
Okay.
switched to design, web development, and I loved it. I was freelancing for a while, but there was so much instability. Like
Hmm.
income was, hit or miss.
Hmm.
Just like sometimes I had 10 projects going on at once, and sometimes I had nothing for 2 months, and I was like, shit, how am I going to pay the rent?
Yeah.
So I ended up like applying to jobs. It dealt with a lot of bullshit with that actually, because
Hmm.
when I started applying, it was for coding jobs, right? Development jobs. And I got a bunch of interviews. Again, self-taught, taught myself that too.
Hmm.
Um, don't have a degree in that at all. My degree's in linguistics.
Mm.
Like, that was a whole nother, few years of white knuckling. Yeah, a
Hmm.
skill. But I got a bunch of interviews, and the interviews would go really well because I was a teacher. I'm good at like the HR side of things, right?
Yeah.
And then the team lead would always say something to the effect of like, "I'm not sure if you're a culture fit." And I
Mm.
realized like I'm a woman. I was in my 30s at the time when everyone else
Mm.
is like a male in their 20s.
Yeah.
And like the culture fit was just like, one guy was super honest. He was like, I don't know what we would talk about over lunch. I was like, what are you
Wow.
talking about? Like, like just what? So I got really frustrated with that, and then kind of switched over to design because that was a little easier to, also I like it a little bit more, right? Like
Oh,
playing with colors
interesting.
and fonts.
So to make this clarification, in the same like world, the software engineer culture is more like the dudes,
Yep. The bros.
the
Exactly.
bro, the bro club. But when you switched over to more UI UX design,
Yeah. Yeah. Then it was like, oh,
wow,
it's fine. Yeah.
wow,
Yeah. And even within the same companies, like the job I ended up getting, I got at the company, a
yeah,
company that I had applied to as a developer, and they'd said no.
man.
So whatever. Yeah, like it worked out. But this year has been a little bit chaotic. I was in the US long term.
Hmm.
And the job was here in Prague. So I couldn't be physically in the office, and they were getting frustrated with that. I was just dealing with a lot of grief and stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I just decided to go back to freelancing full time because
Hmm.
why work for someone else if you can work for yourself? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's at the end of the day, that's the goal.
And your
So
web,
the way I have time to teach myself guitar is I make my own hours, right? And if I want to just stop working and go play guitar for 10 minutes, I can.
Mhm. Got it. Your your website is gorgeous. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
I wouldn't I wouldn't expect that you weren't professionally trained. I imagine that you're pretty darn good at guitar because I feel like anything that you self-teach if is you're great at. Um,
It's getting better. I
it's
wouldn't,
e-
I wouldn't, I wouldn't say it's great. It's getting better.
it's well, whatever I've heard you read has been amazing. So I don't know. I'm just filling in the blank for that's where the guitar is going to go. And I the whole UI UX design and the culture and stuff that honestly that pisses me off. And the reason why it pisses me off is because it's like it's what I see at the university too. It's like the College of Engineering is where, all the that's where all the money is and all the power is. And the College of Design, it's like, pff, you know,
Mm.
there's almost no respect. I have a whole story on like a massive disrespect between College of Engineering and College of Design that I've witnessed through my time at the university. And and meanwhile, I feel like design, UI, UX design, industrial design is so so critically important, and most people just get it backwards. Like I say you don't you can't build a bridge and then say let's make it the Golden Gate.
Mm.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you have to design the Golden Gate Bridge first, and then you can start to figure out like the engineering side of it, and the whole idea of how you know how we design a website or how we design a product. The best the best products in the world are the ones where design was at the very beginning, not as an afterthought, and so just to see that play out both professionally and in academia and the bros and the respect around it. It's just I don't know. I got a lot of things to say and think about that whole thing.
Yeah. I agree with you completely. I think that's I think that's why I've been successful as a freelancer because
Hmm.
I don't allow, the clients I work with range from like large companies to like an individual who's like trying to make it as an actor. So
Hmm.
like it's a full gamut of
Yeah.
people and institutions. But I don't let any of them get away with saying, I just want a website or I just want it to look good. I'm like, no, if we're doing this, we're going strategy, design, and development together, lockstep the whole way. Like if it looks pretty but doesn't work, that doesn't serve you.
Right.
And if it works but it feels like nothing but friction for whoever's on that site, it doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
Right. So it
Cool.
has to go together. And often that's a compromise, right? Like
Hmm.
often you're like, it would be really cool if this animation did this. And I'm like, yeah, but that would take 10 minutes and your user is going to click off.
Hmm.
So, how can we get that message across in a punchier way? Yeah, that's short, but that isn't going to bore everyone to tears because it's going to play through every time they go to that site.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, completely. I don't know. I think I've grown a pretty thick skin with I don't know, not anything in particular traumatic has happened to me,
Hmm.
but I just when I get responses like this isn't a good culture fit, I'm like I know because I taught for 20 years I can get along with anyone, so it's not a culture issue, it's a you issue, and that's fine. Like
Right.
at the end of the day, I'd rather not be in an environment where you think that's important enough to, you know, say no here, even though I've demonstrated the skills.
Hmm.
So, and yeah, teaching, if nothing else, teaching has made me very good at like being able to shoot the shit for hours at a time with absolutely anyone in, varying levels of language. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. I think there's something about being a writer and a teacher. Um, it's not necessarily the best skill set as a podcast host, I've noticed, because teachers get to be verbose and
Mhm.
and writers get to be verbose, but podcast hosts are supposed to not talk so much.
I mean,
So,
it depends. There's always
yeah,
editing.
yeah,
You can always edit it down. But I think the reason people gravitate to podcasts is because they want to have a more human experience. Yeah, of actually like listening to not just the message but the tangent as well. Or at least that's why I go to podcasts.
that's
So
why I like them, and the ones that I like don't edit much out that I can tell that they're editing much out. Like the less edited, the better. And I'm trying really hard to have zero editing, like zero. Sometimes it's like there's a coughing fit right in the middle of the show, and we edit that out. But if I can keep it unedited, I do. And anyway, so you mentioned Prague.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Are,
I've been,
are you interested in talking about how you ended
sure.
up in Prague? And it's just I'm fascinated. I mentioned this to my wife. I'm like, I think I read something by Stephanie. She said she's in this flat, and she's been in this flat for like 9 or 10 years, like a really
Yeah,
long time.
11 years. 11
11
years.
years in a flat in Prague, and I'm like, there's an incredible story here that um, I'd love to hear more about if you want to talk about
Sure.
it.
Yeah, Prague, let's say Prague and I are out of the honeymoon period. At the moment, starting to kind of cast my net around and see what other options might be out there. But moved here, I came here for a summer that turned into 6 months when I was in college to do like a teaching certification, a TEFL certification, just on a whim. Like I was studying Arabic at the time, and I was supposed to go to Egypt for the summer to practice, yeah, to do like an intensive language thing.
Hmm.
But there was something that happened. I don't remember now what it was. Um, some bombing or some attack on something. My parents got nervous and they were like, "We don't want you going over there." I was like, "Okay, that's, and I wasn't that okay with it, but I was like, all
Hmm.
right." So spitefully, I got on my email. I remember this was what, it must have been like 2006, 7, 2006. Gmail had just opened, like it was still invite only. And I had this
Hmm.
brand new Gmail account and I was getting all kinds of spam in it. And one of the things I got was like, do you want to pay to travel and teach? Do you want to be paid to travel and teach? And I was like, yes. So I clicked on the email, clicked through the website, filled out this form. It was an application for this TEFL program. And the next morning, I was like, I got into a teaching certification program in the Czech Republic, and I'm going next week. And my parents were like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, you said I can't go to Egypt, so I'm gonna go do this." I was a little bit of a handful as a teenager, young adult. So yeah, I ended up in Prague. It was incredible. I, did the teaching certification. I experienced, they call it Central Europe, but I think most of the world would consider it Eastern Europe.
Mhm.
Um, Fell in love, had a whole bunch of experiences, traveled a bunch, and just I had to go back. I was still in school. I was still a college student, right?
Mhm.
I had to finish, but I just always wanted to come back here. So when my current partner, Kathy, and I were trying to figure out what the next step was, we were living in Boston. She wasn't happy there. I was fine, but like always wanted to live somewhere else. Um, Prague came up, and it was actually only supposed to be a year. So we
Mhm.
were going to move to Europe for a year. Kind of, I had been teaching already for several years, but Kathy had never. So it was going to be like her introduction to teaching,
Mhm.
get her certification at the same program that I did, and then we were going to move to Vietnam. That was the plan.
Mhm.
We did not move to Vietnam. We ended up loving it here and have just stayed. So I live in a flat that doesn't have an oven because it was only ever supposed to be temporary. And when the landlord showed it to us, we were like, "No, it's fine. Like we can handle this for not a year. For a year, not having an oven, that's fine." It's been 11, and I cook a lot. So, yeah, but yeah, Prague is gorgeous. It's like there's a castle outside my balcony. I'm right near the river and the old town. It's like when people say the city of Prague is magical, it is magical. You feel like
Mhm.
you're at like some like elaborate Disneyland landscape, but it's real and the history is all there. Um, but the Czech people are a little complicated sometimes, and especially like I find during the winter seasons, it can be a little bit difficult to like connect with people. So
Mhm.
been looking at other options to see
Wow.
what's next.
Yeah. Well, you've demonstrated that you're not afraid to go anywhere, or redefine yourself, right? Um,
It's a lot easier than people think. I I always knew, actually, when Kathy and I met, I had been planning already to move to Spain.
mhm,
Had a job worked out, like was working on visa paperwork, but we met and like I knew there was more to it.
mhm, mhm,
But I didn't want to freak her out and like ask her to move to a different country with me. So I just quietly like canceled my application, canceled
mhm,
the position, the opportunity that I had, and just didn't tell her for a few years that that had happened. Because that's creepy. Like I changed my whole life trajectory because like we met one night and hit it off. But I was like, I don't know, that feels like there's something here.
mhm,
Um, but moving abroad is not as complicated as people think it is. Like, and I still have US citizenship, at least for the moment.
mhm,
It's you can return whenever you want to,
mhm.
but
At least right now,
you probably
right?
won't want to. Yeah, at least right now. That's a big
Yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah. I yeah, there's times in my life where I think I might have stayed, not, went to Italy and didn't want to come back, and there's
Mm,
like certain moments in my life where I thought it could have happened. Um, my son is 22, lives here in Raleigh. So he comes over to dinner once a week, and so it's like that's the thing. That's the thing
mm,
that makes it really, really hard for me. My wife's family is, half an hour away, and we get to see them fairly regularly. So it's like the family ties are the things that are really hard. Uh, and the roots that we've got here in this town. Um, and Raleigh's a great place, but sometimes I think like, hey, why not experience a different part of the world, or a different part of this country, even just do,
yeah.
so yeah, it's
Well,
inspiring to hear your story.
yeah, I think being away from friends and family has been the hardest part for
Hmm.
sure. And hasn't really gotten easier, even though like, we have roots here as well now, but I don't know, it doesn't hit the same. But I will say, again, for the moment, US citizens can live pretty much anywhere in the world for up to 90 days without a visa.
Hmm.
So if you can work remotely, you could live anywhere.
Yeah, try different things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Because, you can even just a month. Yeah. I think going to a place for 3 days to a week, you don't really get a sense of what life is there. But if
Mm-hmm.
you stay for a month, like you start to develop a rhythm and, favorite spots, and you kind of start to appreciate the culture at like a local level.
Hmm.
I'm a linguist, so like language is always fascinating to me, and
Hmm.
that's so like so stimulating to live around, not just like around Czech speakers, which Czech is a monster of a language, but also in the middle of Europe. So we have influence from all over the place, and tourists
Hmm.
everywhere. But you can spend a month somewhere and get a sense for what life is like, and if you want to do that long term, before you make the decision to do it long term.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna try something not even close to that, but we're talking about spending 2 to 3 months in our Airstream
Mhm.
up in like New York, Finger Lakes, Vermont, maybe Maine area, just trying what does living up in New England feel like for a summer, you know. So we're gonna give that a shot this coming summer. Um,
I, lo- I love that. I have a lot of questions about the Airstream. that I won't ask you today, but that's on my list of things to try. So I'm curious how that goes. But I will say I lived in Boston for 12 years,
Mhm.
and if I were to move back to the US, it would be the Northeast.
Mhm. I love Boston.
I'm from Miami, and everybody's like, "Oh, Miami is such a great place." Like, no, it's hot all the time. There are hurricanes and alligators everywhere. Like,
Mhm.
just like just go to the Northeast. The leaves change. You have four seasons.
Yeah,
There's like apple picking and gorgeous mountains, lots of hiking. Like,
yeah.
Northeast is beautiful.
Boston is such a great city. I grew up right outside of New York City, so
Hmm.
I was in New Jersey, but right across the Hudson River and could see the Manhattan skyline. And like in middle school, hopping on buses into Manhattan. So I basically grew up in New York City, and going to visit Boston is just it feels like a small town and a big city all at the same time. And I just love the culture there. The food's so good. It's vibrant.
Mm.
There's people out. The happy hour scene is just fantastic. There's tourists walking around. It's just beautiful. There's parks like Boston parks just everywhere. What they've done more recently, at least what I've seen more recently with multimodal transportation, like hanging out in Boston now and watching the bikes go by and the scooters go by and the one wheels go by and like all the different
Hmm.
it's like there's almost like three lanes of traffic. You've got, the cars in this, 2 or 3 lane highway, but then right next to it is this mini highway of bikes and electric vehicles. And then beside that is a sidewalk, and there's just like people jogging everywhere. I don't run. I like to ride bikes,
Yeah, me too.
and my
Yeah.
knees are just not good. But whenever I go to Boston, I can't help but go for a jog. It's like, I'm in Boston. I'm gonna go for a jog. It's like the city is just screaming, please come run along the Charles River, please.
Okay, I can honestly say I've never had that impulse living there. But I did ride my bike everywhere. That was my main means of transportation. And I love that the city has improved because when I was living there, there were not really bike lanes like there were in Cambridge, like around Harvard, Tufts area.
Mhm.
Um, there were some in like downtown Boston, but it was always like, take your life into your hands and hope for the
Yeah,
best. It was just so dangerous. I'm really glad I was the age I was because now I don't think I would put myself in that situation again.
right.
But yeah, there's just something about it. You're right. It's like a small town, a big city all at once. It's to me like the most European city in the US.
Hmm.
I haven't been everywhere in the US, but I have been up and down the East Coast, and just something about Boston just feels really like it's got its issues, right? Every place does, but
Yeah.
it feels really comfortable. Like
Hmm.
feels like it's Boston.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels cultural. Like you feel you hear the different languages, and it's just there's a lot of vanilla where here in North Carolina it just feels sometimes it feels pretty bland, but growing up in New York City, there's just so many cultures. You go eat
Yeah.
at whatever restaurant, cuisine from anywhere in the world, you could eat in New York, and you can do that in Boston too. And I'm Italian American, so I'm like big Italian family, and still family in Italy kind of a situation. And when I go to Boston, it feels like, yeah, it feels like Europe. It feels like home. Um, so I could see that. I could see kind of being a Northeasterner at some point. It's on topics of conversation. My wife and I, say like, well, we're not making any quick moves. We're not doing anything fast, but we got the Airstream. We're kind of slowly each year we become more and more nomadic, and that opens up a whole different way of thinking about how we're gonna, spend the next couple of decades. We'll figure it out. Um,
Yeah. I mean, having options is good, I think.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, if you, the nice thing about the fact that your kids have grown up and are, you know, coming over for dinner rather than like living in the house expecting dinner means that you can, yeah, just go
yeah,
spend a couple weeks somewhere and see.
yeah. A-
And that
Absolutely.
Airstream, which is a great idea.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. There's
Take your home with you. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, just the homes pulls away from the house with us. It's parked right outside and we
Nice.
load it up like it's the setup's actually really nice because we live in downtown Raleigh, so we can walk 3, 4 blocks and we're in the city where the restaurants are. But I've got this unusually large lot, very small house. It's an 1,100 square foot house, which is why all my bikes are parked inside this spare bedroom that I'm in right now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
no garage, so teeny, relatively small house, not compared to a flat with no stove, but it's small. But the yard is big, and we get to park the Airstream in it. It's like half the size of our house.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we just kind of load it up. It feels we don't have to pack any bags. It's like, just put some food in let's plug it. We're gonna leave in 3 or 4 days. Plug it in. Cool, it's plugged in. Like get it going. Start kind of pseudo living in it, and put some food in the refrigerator. And then one day it's like we're leaving.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's super cool. We did a camper van in Iceland for 10 days this past fall. And yeah, I definitely want to do that again. It's
nice.
like, yeah, just being able to, all your stuff is with you all the time and just go wherever you want.
Yeah,
Like, we were basically just driving around the Icelandic coast for 10 days, just like deciding on spur of the moment, like, oh, like let's go across this peninsula for lunch. And like, why
yeah,
not? You know,
hmm
throw the van on a ferry, let's go. Like,
yeah,
so
yeah. I love it. All right, so do you know what you're going to read this week? This is exciting for me because I have no idea what you're going to read. I said this, I don't know if you listened to the show I did with Elle last week. She was like,
the
"Oh, I'm
show,
reading
no.
something."
Yeah,
And
that's funny.
I'm like, "Yeah, that's what the show is. The show is it's about writers reading their essays." And she's like, "Let me find something." So,
That's
uh,
very on brand. I love it.
yeah, very, very much so. And she, of course, she's just everything that comes out of her mouth is like just listening to art. So it was beautiful. But I'm excited to hear what you're going to bring to the show this week. And
Yeah, I had a bunch of options. I think I'm gonna go there's like a 90% chance I'm gonna cry in the middle of this.
okay.
But we're looking for authenticity, right? So that's, yeah, it's kind of where we're at.
hmm
And I'm gonna read the one I posted most recently, because I think it's topical, right? We're smack dab between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
hmm
It's about the holidays and holding traditions, holding space for tradition,
hmm
while also like grieving people that have been lost. Um, so just, trigger warning for anyone listening.
I,
There's,
yeah,
yeah,
I appreciate it. It's happened to me. I didn't give a trigger warning, and right in the middle of the essay, I just started crying. I was like, "Whoa, I didn't know that was going to happen." So,
yeah,
I'll thank you in
it does
advance,
happen.
whether you make it through or not. I appreciate you being so vulnerable today.
Yeah. It's part of the process. There's also some humor in it. So it's not like it shouldn't be dull. All right.
No, no, no way. No, 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 no. Yeah, emotional does not mean. sad or boring. It means emotional, right? Got to laugh, got to cry. Um, ooh, I
Yeah,
think, yeah,
full spectrum emotions.
it was. Now, yeah, I think if I read this and I know that laughed out loud and then at some point was staring at one sentence for like a half an hour. So, yeah, um,
So trigger warning to you as well.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Are
take it
you
away.
comfortable with me reading it?
Oh man, absolutely. It's
Okay.
such a good
All right.
it's such a good story, and I think that um he has a just like you're such a good writer, and when you can do that, when you can laugh out loud um and cry in the same piece, you know, there's that's really really special. So yeah, please share it.
Let's do it. I do apologize in advance. We'll try to get through it. So it's called Not All Fun and Games. I didn't set out to make Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday, but I tripped and fell into the kitchen anyway. At 10 a.m., my partner and I agreed that after the wine and jamon binge we put our bodies through over a long weekend in Mallorca, ringing in my 40th year, we needed a break. A break and lots of vegetables. Besides, we live in Prague. Thanksgiving isn't really a thing over here in the general population. It's a normal work day for everyone, and we were planning to celebrate with friends over the weekend anyway. At 2 p.m., when the East Coast started waking up and the Happy Thanksgiving text started rolling in, I found myself getting a little sad about not celebrating. Turkey isn't my favorite form of ingestible fowl, but it was my mother's favorite holiday, and her prowess in the kitchen was prolific. Preparing the annual meal, along with all the others, fell to me when she passed. And the process always brings all my childhood memories flooding back. I feel closer to her when I'm elbow deep in the cavity of a bird, using all the tips and tricks she and my grandmother and aunts passed down to me. At 3 p.m., I found myself at the neighborhood butcher inquiring about turkeys. We always have turkey in November for the American. Sorry, I can't do a Czech accent for this, but it was a Czech butcher. We always have turkey in November for the Americans, but only the breasts now, not the whole bird. All right, then, this is happening. Juicy turkey breast, pressure cooked in a mixture of butter, garlicky broth, and whole sprigs of rosemary. Roasted potatoes tossed in butter and herbs, perfectly crisp and pillowy. Green beans sauteed with shallots and garlic. Dressing, not stuffing, you animals. Made from a crunchy French baguette I tucked under my arm on the way home from the store like a Parisian youth. The house smelled like the best of memories. Generations of Cuban mothers ran through my hands as I yielded my knives and wooden spoons, and I felt it like a hug. 3 hours later, I'd managed to pull off a holiday feast using nothing but two electric burners, an air fryer, and a just the wrong side of healthy dose of butter. We don't have an oven, perhaps a story for another day, but I've gotten quite good at making it work over the past 11 years we've been living in this flat. Kathy cracked open the 2004 Burgundy I brought home from my father's house for a special occasion, and I used the big spoon to ladle gravy over the whole mess. What should we watch? Kathy said. Well, it's officially the holiday season. Let's watch a Christmas movie, a funny one. Oh, I know which one. I've been wanting to watch this again. What's it called? The Family Stone. Cool, I've never seen it. We settled in as the movie started, taste buds full to bursting with buttery nostalgia as the cats prowled the back of the couch, awaiting an opportune fumble. Maybe this was the year I'd make it through a holiday meal without tearing up. I walked back into the room after clearing the table, arms laden with brownies and stroopwafels. Not exactly traditional, but the air fryer was busy, and I haven't yet mastered the art of a stovetop pumpkin pie, just as one of the daughters was having an intimate moment with her mother on screen. Wait, why? Who else knows what? Kathy? Who else knows what? Shit, Steph, I forgot about that part. We can watch something else. We didn't watch something else. By the time we'd reached this point and the shoe dropped, I was already invested. As the credits rolled and the tears streamed down my gravy and sugar crusted face, I turned to Kathy in disbelief. That was an epically bad choice, Catherine. I know, I didn't think about it. I'm so sorry. Here, let me get you some more tissues. While I've gotten better at navigating the inevitable empty spaces in my holiday plans, the 20 years since I lost my mother to cancer, it's still a loaded time of year. Pair that with my father's death in January and the months spent cleaning out his house and getting it ready to be put up for sale this year, and my capacity bucket has long since overflowed. The holidays are more difficult for some of us than others. My partner, after 15 years together, knows this, but she forgets. I don't blame her for that. As an irrefutably avoidant personality type, I'm great at blowing through the grief colored roadblocks that crop up. I'm a master at redirection and compartmentalization, a black belt and tuck it in and deal with it later. Grin and bear it. Distract yourself at all costs. Smile through the pain. But this is the first round of holidays without either of my parents here, and it's hitting a bit differently. You just seem fine most of the time, Kathy says. I didn't think about it. My therapist has some choice words about how stubbornly fine I always seem, but we're working through it. So, how do we, the grieving survivors, actually navigate the minefield of the holiday season? At first, we avoid any films tinged with loss. We burst into tears at the first strings of Christmas music in overcrowded shopping malls. We shout into pillows. We avoid talking about the ones that aren't still with us in anything but the closest of company. We observe the season with our jaws clenched, tears dripping silently into the green bean casserole. It doesn't get easier, but time softens the blow with each passing year. We seek therapy. Eventually, we allow the pain to coexist with the joy. We grow comfortable with crying in public. We take heart in the memories that have shaped who we've become and allow them to direct our actions in the future. We're still triggered at random, but we've learned to take it in stride. We hold fast to our rituals. And sometimes we cry, we sob onto the errant crumbs of our stroopwafels, and we know we'll do it again next year. I made it.
You made it.
I made it.
Man, thank you.
It was a
You
little
broke the.
dicey. It was a little
Thank you.
dicey in there.
Oh man, I
Absolutely.
appreciate you breaking the silence too. I was gonna sit there silent for I
Oh,
don't know how long.
yeah.
I um I forget, I don't know what I wrote, and I know I put a little comment on there. Maybe I think I said I was gonna give my mother-in-law a big hug.
Mm.
It's
Have you?
I, I I haven't seen her yet. As soon as I see her, I'm gonna give her an extra big hug. I did tell my wife, I said, next time I see your mom, I'm gonna give her a big hug, and it's like I've never seen the movie, so I know, but there's like this
Mm.
story about how my son and I have a tradition. We watch Die Hard every Thanksgiving night or the Friday
Okay.
after Thanksgiving. It's like our ring-in Christmas movie.
I have never
And
seen Die Hard.
you've never seen Die Hard.
I've never seen Die Hard.
Oh my God. Oh, it is so good. I mean,
Yeah, I'll put it on my list.
it it's like as far as stories go, like good writing, this is the thing. People, oh, it's a Bruce Willis shoot 'em up, blah blah blah, guns and I don't care what anybody says. As far as good writing is concerned, and like foreshadowing and the whole like really good dialogue that comes in, it's like if they set that scene like in the first 30 seconds of the movie, they've laid out some things that come through way later in the movie, and it's one of those ones that I can watch like every
Oh,
year.
nice.
Um, but it's like machine guns and glass shattering and just like it's just noise. Like if you're not sitting down really watching the movie, it's just a bunch of noise. And you know, there's the joke, is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? And so part of me and my son, he's 22 now, and I feel like we've been doing this since he's like 10 years old. We're gonna watch Die Hard, and every single year my mother-in-law says, like, one day I'm gonna get you guys to sit down and watch The Family Stone with me,
Mm.
and so I've never seen it. So now we have to watch it. Now we have to watch it. Uh, and when I read your story, I just thought that's not your holiday choice to bring up every year if there isn't something so much deeper.
Mm.
Um, and I just know that my wife's mom is not like she, she's probably not going to therapy. She's not doing all the things that she could possibly be doing. If I'm probably gonna get disowned. Just saying all this right now. If she listens, I don't know if she
This
listens
is
to the
this is
podcast.
the episode that gets edited. Note to editor.
Yeah.
Potentially cut this part.
Yeah, this might not make it. Um, but I'm like, I don't know. There's just something beautiful about reading your words and having that turn into me hugging my mother-in-law. Like that's maybe the beautiful thing about writing, and sharing, because stuff like that happens.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best possible outcome from words that somebody could write. Is it having an emotional impact on someone else and leading you to, or leading them to act
Hmm.
on something that resonated? I
Yeah.
think that's the point. Yeah, it's to entertain. Yeah, it's to, you know, as a writer, like process your own emotions. But at the end of the day, like it's a means of connection,
Hmm.
and that it domino effects into another connection is really nice. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I've never really been into like journaling. I mean, I think that there's a lot the clarity of thought through, say, through writing. Um, I am a firm believer that the writing for a publication has had a profound impact on me learning about myself.
mm,
It's like I write something and then I hand it over to an editor and they spit back like, this is unclear, and what do you mean here, and what's your subtext really? And I'm like, wow, I don't know. and then you want it to be entertaining, right? Like, you this is a really emotional story. This is like a really and but I want it to be entertaining. I want people to actually read it, right? So that whole process, I don't know what it's like for you, but for me, it's like I end up having no, like I didn't know that that was in me, and I learned something new writing
mm.
this thing that's way beyond if it was a journal entry after kind of going through that process.
Yeah. I mean, I am a journaler. I always have been. And like as a kid, like my journal entries were like, I have a dog named Snowflake. She is cute. Like, but then like I mentioned in this, recently cleaned out my dad's house and like all my stuff was there from like
Mm,
childhood to now. And so all of my journals were in that house. And I like took days just going through and like seeing my own progression through
mm,
years, like through phases of life and through like situations. And like, there's like childishness. I'm not saying that as a negative, just like the act of being a child,
Hmm.
and then like teenage angst and
Hmm.
like, discovery of self, and then like processing that discovery and like reimagining what you thought you knew about yourself. And it's all happening like quite organically on the page. But when you take a step back and read it, it's like, oh, like, there's a couple pages where I was like, made some offhand comment about something, and I was like, oh my God, I was so gay. I am gay. I was so gay. I didn't know it.
This is
Made
before I
some
knew.
made some
This.
crazy comment about the fact that like my cousin had a crush on this boy and I just didn't get it.
Hmm.
20 years later, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
get
that
it.
makes
Didn't get it. But
sense.
I wrote 4 pages on this actress from some TV show I watched as a kid.
Ah,
Like,
yeah, there you go. And the
yeah,
clues were there all along.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like, it's like anything emotional. Like when you're in the thick of it, like when you're in the weeds, you can't see it.
Hmm.
But the minute you take a step back, and I think that's what writing does. And I'm glad you raised the point of like writing for publication, like writing and having editors read it is such a different experience. Cause like I am an editor, right? So like I already like put my words through like a grammar test and like all of that. But having someone then say like I had a poem I wrote returned because the editor was like, I don't get it. And I was like, what do you mean you don't get it? Like it's so obvious. And I was like, oh no, like it's not coming across. And like it's me, right? Like I knew what it was about. So to me it was obvious. But
Hmm.
I had to like reformulate and like make it clear and, not force, because art is not ever forcing an interpretation, but like nudging the reader towards the interpretation that I had in my head.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, it's a process for sure. Learning, like, oh, that's why I keep gravitating to this concept. Something I started
Yeah.
doing this year, I tend to like latch onto words, like a
Mm.
particular like phrase or just a particular word that keeps coming up. And I've started writing those down because I'm like, that's what's going on in my head right now, whether I know it or not. I keep dropping this in conversation about completely unrelated things. And like, I need to process that. Why am I saying that word all the time?
Oh,
So,
that's a fun
yeah.
exploration. Like drop the phrase and then explore why,
Hmm.
where it's coming from. That's
Hmm.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But now the process of, even if you're writing something that's completely fictional, like there's so much of you on that page.
Hmm.
And then, magnify that exponentially if you're writing something personal. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, you leave a lot of dust behind. Yeah. But that's the part of it I think is important.
The impact that we have on people's lives is, I think, the part that I guess if no one was to read it, I would probably stop doing it.
Would you?
I wouldn't stop writing, but I would stop trying to share it,
Mm,
if that makes any sense. I mean,
sure.
I guess I never really journaled, but I am terrible at poetry. Like my poetry just plain sucks. Uh, However, that's what I wrote the most. Like I guess that was my journaling. My journaling was sitting down and writing poetry. So I've got hundreds, thousand, I don't know. I've got a huge amount of poetry. Um, and so I don't think I would stop writing. I've always loved writing. And the other thing that I love is writing letters. And, so around birthdays or holidays, I like to write. my loved ones letters. Um, and so I
It's
don't think I
beautiful.
would stop. I don't think I would stop writing, but I, I do feel like the impact on life, and it's more like a resonance as opposed to a writer or it's not like a lesson. Although I'm a teacher, so sometimes I feel like there should be a lesson.
Mm.
But what's more important is like how your story inspired a hug, right? Like you read something, you end up hugging somebody. Uh, that's really all I want, right? I just want to like write something and somebody reads it and it ends up that they hug somebody. Or my dream is it inspires other things to happen. It's just like a snowball of goodness, right? Somebody reads this and it turns into a song that somebody writes, or it turns into some more somebody creates some more something else because they got inspired by this thing that they read. Um, yeah.
Actually, I had a cinematic immunity moment
Ooh,
recently.
tell me about it.
Uh, I was in uh, I was in Amsterdam over the weekend, and there was the greatest thing that's ever been invented, a cheese conveyor belt restaurant that was right near the hotel we were staying at. And we kept walking by it on the way home. And it's just like, we had a concert one night, then we had a surprise concert the next night, then like, we just were drunk and couldn't like, think about eating.
Uh-huh.
We just like we walked by and it was like they were closing in an hour. Tried to get in and the door was locked. And my partner was like, "Okay, well, I guess this isn't happening." And I was like, "No, it's happening." So we just waited by the door. I mean, the server saw us, like, didn't respond. I was like, "There's a good chance they're gonna turn us away, but I'm not leaving." And these people walked out, and I just like walked in, and I just like walked straight up to the nicest looking server there, like the kind eyes guy. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, I know your kitchen is probably closed, but I noticed you still have cheese on this conveyor belt. Like, I'm happy to eat this cheese." If it's just going around and it's not claimed. And he was like, "Oh, of course, sit down." So we got it after hours. Not technically, they were not closed, but they were like trying to close.
Yeah.
And in 20 minutes, demolished six like plates of cheese with like the guy brought us. We were like already two plates in, and the guy brought us a bunch of crackers and was like, "Do you want anything to drink?" Because we had no silverware, no napkins. We just started grabbing cheese off this conveyor belt and like just like going to town on it with our hands. But it was a great experience. And then like, at the end of the night, he was like, we usually do close the doors to like try to not get new people once the kitchen is closed.
Mhm.
But we have all this cheese and we don't waste any of it. So everybody either takes it home or it stays in the fridge upstairs, but like our fridge is full. So it's good that you were here to help. I was like, yeah, great. If you have any more cheese in the back, feel free to pass it over.
And my wife and I
um,
agree, greatest invention of all time. We must go
mm,
to the cheese conveyor belt. That
yeah,
what a great story. Um, I'm so excited for the whole cinematic community to come out uh, this month, later this month. So
yeah,
really excited to share that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So that's just a teaser for
yeah,
cinematic immunity. You'll have to read the story to find out what that means.
you will have to read the story to find out. Um, I'm curious if you want to play some whole mind game with me.
Could
You
definitely
got
try
time?
it.
You got time for
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
You wrote I think like revolutionary or something in when you
yeah. I really the concept of this game really resonates with me. Like I think it's because I don't. I ever think things exist in only one plane. Like I think everything has, you know, the good and the bad, the pretty, the ugly, the contrast of it. Um, but you'll have to walk me through the game.
Yeah, oh,
So.
absolutely. I will walk you through the game. And it's a game that has no right or wrong answers. It's just like an exploration. Uh and I wrote down a couple things, but we could do any sort of tension, the this or that that you're struggling with in life for real right now. Um, there was two that I wrote down from the story that you read,
Mhm.
dressing and stuffing. Dressing,
Oh man.
dressing or stuffing.
Hmm.
We could play a dressing or stuffing game, which would be like a fun version of the whole mind game.
Yeah.
Uh, the other one that I wrote down was really around the story itself. There's this pain and then there's joy. And holding pain and joy, which your story basically is the whole mind game because it's holding both at the same time. So those are two that I wrote down. Though, like I said, you could choose any, like if you're like, wow, I've got a this or that thing that I'm struggling with like right now, and we can do that one too. So it's your pick.
I mean, I like both of those, and it depends. Like, you want this to get heavy, or do you want to keep this light?
I think we should go heavy. I think the
Okay.
dressing and stuffing is fun, but I want to explore pain and joy.
The only correct answer is dressing. It's you can do anything to it. It can be different. It can be. I mean, both. Ideally, the answer is both. So it's not really an either or. But again, no oven. Dealing only with turkey breast, so
Mhm.
stuffing
Yeah,
is not an option.
you animals. You called us animals, though.
Oh, you're a stuffing man.
Well, I am both. I'm a both.
Mhm.
I love my mother-in-law's dressing is so good. And my request to her is to bring the dressing. That's like one of the things I ask for. Um, However, I also think that the bird needs to be stuffed as part of its cooking process.
Mm.
So I stuff my turkey or our turkey. Abby made the stuffing. Um, I put the stuffing not only in the cavity of the bird, but also between the fascia, like the fascia layer.
Ooh. Hmm.
So like kind of break the skin away and get up under there and then stuff above the breasts with
Oh.
stuffing. But yeah, so
Oh,
like
that's like an insulating layer for the
yeah,
breasts, right? That makes it like,
and it's
oh.
like it's got salty sausage and it's all like it's
Mm.
the we laugh out loud when I'm reading my sister's recipe because she used the word moist so much, and my wife hates the word moist.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say it,
Mm.
but I'm gonna say moist over and over again, so she's gonna hate this episode. But it's like this layer of moistness between the skin and the breast. What am I?
Yeah. 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 I mean, moist is always going to be better. Just see how many times we can repeat this word.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good word, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like a little crispiness though.
yeah.
In the skin.
Mhm.
Wouldn't the moistness stop the crispiness?
Believe it or not, the skin, because it's like separated out, it almost is
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, you get like a nice. It's not like with the bird though, I guess. It's almost like a treat
Okay.
that the chef gets to eat because honestly, when it comes off of the oven, it's like I'm basically eating all the skin, so nobody else gets
Mm.
it.
I mean, you put the work in. That's your treat. That's your
Uh,
prize. It's your prize for working hard.
it's uh it's the least I can do. Make some turkeys and and smoke a brisket. but that's the easy part. Everybody else bringing their A games is that's where it's really at. All the appetizers and side dishes and everything else.
Mm.
Um,
What's the best side dish other than stuffing and dressing?
ooh, wow. This year was so good. I want to say, well, my sister-in-law makes bread. All of her bread is
Hmm.
phenomenal. So I can't go without her bread. The My niece, she made um, mashed potatoes, which were everything was so good this year. Somebody made, I want to say it was my sister-in-law also. I'm gonna get something wrong, and then I'm gonna be in trouble on this episode. Somebody made a corn pudding thing.
Oh,
It was like, yeah, it was as if cornbread had real corn in it, but then turned into pudding.
ooh,
Man, it was so good. Yeah, I like a good butternut squash with marshmallows. I'm a big marshmallow fan. I love
yeah.
marshmallows. It might be one of my top favorite foods of all time. Just
So
marshmallow.
this is candied yams, yeah, is my favorite dish and also the one I'm tasked with making
Mm,
for our friend group Thanksgiving
hmm
every year. But I live in the Czech Republic and half of our group are Czechs and they don't understand marshmallows or why it's on a potato.
mm,
So every single year I make it proudly. The Americans are like, yay. And then the Czechs are like, but why is it sweet? So I've had to start making like a small batch of that and then just like roasted sweet potatoes, like a savory sweet potato to
mm,
like balance. Yeah. But,
mm,
and marshmallows here are also only purple and pink. So it
mm.
looks really weird. There's no white marshmallows here.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
the sweet potato has pink and purple marshmallows on top.
Yeah, that is that.
It doesn't look very appetizing.
Orange, pink, and purple all just
Yeah,
swirled together. Fantastic.
like a Halloween nightmare, but it
Oh
tastes really
man.
good.
All right, so let's play with joy and pain. Unless you got something else. Do you have another this or that that you're really struggling with?
I like joy and pain, but let's call it celebration and grief.
Celebration and grief.
Because I think, you know, it's not
Yep.
just like there's a celebratory aspect
Yep.
to the holidays and to like I don't know, I've always thought of it as like being the torchbearer of family
Mhm.
tradition, you know, and like as we lose older relatives, like the younger generations have to step in and take over. And there's celebration in that. And like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, joy, happiness. There's also a lot of grief because, you know, you gotta do it the same.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do this celebration and grief. So the way the game works is it's 6 questions. And when answering the question, we try to do our best to boil it down to a very short word or phrase. Um, the 6 questions are: what's the best of tension one? What's the worst of tension one? Best of tension two? Worst of tension two? And then what's the best of the best?
Mhm.
Is the synergy, and what's the worst of the worst is the shadow side or a trap. Um, Recently got asked. I've never had anybody ask me this before, but these are still very um, discrete positions of like the there's like a best and a best, a worst and a worst, but you can also have a best and a worst, or a worst and a best, or you can be
Mhm.
anywhere in the middle of this like grayscale of um, tension. And so it's like I always am thinking in terms of striving towards the best of the best and trying to avoid uh, the the worst of the worst. But in real life, we're kind of balancing. It's a balancing act. Um,
It's a matrix
yeah, it's just
rather than a binary. It's a
it's not, yeah,
yeah.
it's not meant to be binary. I mean, another visual that I really like to give for this, and I've never talked about this on the show before, so I think it's a good opportunity with you today. Um, I think of a seesaw, and I think of like two, kids playing on a seesaw, and um, the idea that like balance would be if the seesaw was just like right in the middle, right?
Mm,
And and there's different ways to think about how to balance the seesaw. Like if one side is much heavier than the other, it's always going to be completely,
mm,
imbalanced. One side's going to always be on the ground. So you can figure out, you can try to remove weight from the heavy side. You can try to add weight to the lighter side. Um, or the other thing you can do is kind of slide something heavy towards the middle. And I had a good friend of mine say, like, well, the best way to, like, seesaw is the most fun when it's out of balance.
yeah. I was gonna
Um,
say the same. Like the goal isn't stagnating at equilibrium, even if that sounds like it should be the best thing, but
right, yeah, exactly. Like being totally balanced is stagnant. It's not fun at all. So I think one of the visuals that I want to start getting better at using is that how much more fun is the game when we stack up, right? Like if we in in the game, if someone moves completely to the middle of the seesaw will be balanced. But
mm,
I call this like extreme focus on one thing, like just extreme focus on celebration or extreme focus on grief is like putting it in the middle of the seesaw. So that would balance it perfectly. Um, but another way that you see things happen is that they try to like we try to minimize things. Like I want less and less of the bad thing. And so that's like heading towards the shadow side. Like that would be as if
mm,
there was nobody on, just there's nothing on the seesaw. It's just empty, right? But this idea that if you do head towards the synergy, if you head towards maximizing both, it's like the hardest thing to balance and the funnest because you have so much on both sides that it's extra difficult to keep balanced. And I'm a big Star Wars fan. Huge. Are you into Star Wars at all? Um,
so that was another series I had never watched, and Kathy sat me down and made me watch it a few years
ooh,
ago. So I have watched Star Wars, but
yeah. That
recently didn't grow up with it.
okay, but so you've seen it recently enough, or to see is it's like the dark. There's the dark side and the light side of the
Mm,
Force, and what they'll
yeah.
say throughout the movie. And Star Wars is really a lesson in non-duality
Hmm.
that both Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader are very strong in both sides,
Yeah.
and they have to manage holding the light and the dark to the max, which is a very, very difficult and very fun. Um, it makes for lots and lots of entertainment.
Right.
Whereas the dark side or like the shadow side is it would be like pulling both away to the worst, I guess, if that makes any sense. But let's
Or
play.
or going like all the way good, but then I guess that is the better outcome, right? So
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
this
Well,
is, yeah. this is where it becomes interesting. If you play the game with
Uh,
whatever you think is all the way good, like if you think selfish is all the way bad and you think selfless is all the way
mm,
good, but you play this game, you end up realizing that there's a good and there's a there's two sides to all those things, right? So like it's like celebration is good, grief is bad, but that's not it, right? So,
because I mean, everything is contrast. If you don't have grief,
right.
then celebration is never, you know, full body.
Yeah,
If you never have celebration, then like you don't realize you're grieving.
right. Let's see what happens. I've never played with these two words, so it'll just be fun to watch what unfolds.
All right.
Um, and we'll both do it together. So let's start with celebration. What do you think is the best of celebration? Like, what do you think? Like, oh man, I love this about celebration.
And they're like unfettered enthusiasm, just absolute like. I mean, I guess we go back to the word joy, right? Like absolute extreme joy that cannot be boxed in. Right? When you celebrate, you're like, you know, not a soft celebration, a loud one.
Yeah, I love that. Unfettered is the best part of that word, or the best part of that whole thing. It's like just like you feel like there's no limit, right?
Yeah.
Unfettered enthusiasm, joy. Uh, I'm thinking, I don't, it's like it's a simple word, but just party. Like to me, it's like
Hmm.
uh, I love a good party. I love
Hmm.
going to a wedding. Um, there's good food. I'm thinking like food, family, friends, laughter, right? And all that kind of sums up party. Party is the word that kind of
Yeah.
just jumped out to me.
I picture dancing, picture like, confetti on the floor from the, balloon explosions, like
Yeah,
full party mode.
full party mode. I love it. All right. So, what would be the worst of celebration?
Directionless celebration.
Ooh, direct.
Like celebrating for no good reason. Or not maybe not understanding why.
Hmm, interesting.
Right? Because like I'm still maybe taking celebration as a good thing,
Yeah.
but I don't know, I guess like a lack of consciousness about it.
Ooh, lack of, yeah.
Like
Um,
actually to go with your party thing, like when I was a kid, we'd get together for like Noche Buena, which Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving and like all of these holidays, and like I didn't understand it. I was like,
mhm,
yeah, this is when I play with my cousins and we eat a lot of food, okay, but it was directionless. Like I didn't know what we were celebrating. I just understood that like we were gathering.
mhm,
So it was kind of the point was lost on me a bit.
mm,
But as I grew older and kind of understood, like, oh, like not only are we gathering, but we're gathering together to celebrate something intentionally,
mhm,
right? Like, there's like, not that there's a goal to it, but that there's energy behind it. It's not just for the sake of it. It's, you know, out of gratitude, maybe.
mhm. Yeah.
So maybe like directionless or like, I don't know, unfocused. I don't know what the word is, but it's like guideless celebration.
Guideless celebration. Interesting. I like the lack of consciousness part of it, which is leaning towards where I was thinking. I was thinking like so drunk you're like not enjoying it anymore or whatever. Like
Hmm.
it's like that's almost a lack of consciousness.
Hmm.
The other word that popped out for me was aftermath.
Ooh,
Like the
that's a good one.
hangover, like the word when if I'm thinking like what's the worst part about a celebration? I'm like the cleaning up.
Day after.
The
The
day
day
after the
after.
cleaning up, like when everybody
Yeah.
leaves and the house is a wreck and I got to clean it up. And then my hangover and yeah,
Ooh, but there
so
was like there was a period of time in my 20s when I think I was flirting with alcoholism. And yeah, like I would just get absolutely out of control.
mhm,
Uh, I was grieving, like that was right after my mom died. I was not dealing well with that. And I was just like looking to alcohol to like fix it, at least momentarily. But so like, I'd go out with friends and like forget my friends because I get super social when I
mhm.
drink. So I would
Yeah.
like, get hammered and like go make friends, you know, all over the place, which was super fun in the moment. But like, I had plenty of conversations with people who were like, we didn't know where you were for 3 hours. Like,
Mm.
right. Yeah. That I've managed to pull myself out of that and I'm grateful. But like, there are a few years of that.
Yeah, I'm grateful too. It comes back to lack of consciousness though too, right? It's like
Hmm.
almost celebrating to the point of well, in your directionless celebration, it's like, why am I celebrating? I'm celebrating to drown
Yeah.
feelings. Do I even know that that's why I'm doing it? Um, yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's
can
like the
let it.
celebration gets dark. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when celebration gets dark. So the dark
The
side,
aftermath.
the aftermath. Yeah. All right. Grief. What's the best of grief?
Hmm. Well, consciousness. Not
Hmm.
not to sound like a record, but you don't grieve something if you don't like care about it, or you don't grieve someone if you don't care about them. All right. So grief is just the other side of love. You don't, if you're in a relationship and you break up, like, if you shake that off in a couple weeks, like that probably didn't mean too much. But if it takes you a couple of years to like shake that,
Hmm.
to me, that's a sign that you truly felt it. And
Hmm.
so like, the best part of grief is maybe realizing depth and like realizing what that love was and that it was.
Consciousness, care, truly feel and realize. Yeah, like I feel close to, like if I take the time to grieve my mom, um, I feel close to her. Um,
Yeah, like connected.
connected. Yeah, it feels alive, right? I don't know. It feels, sometimes I feel like I'm not very emotional. Like I'm almost emotionless sometimes. It's been
I have
interesting to
that.
hear
I
how
have that
much
too.
uh, I doing this and listening to these podcasts. I'm like, wow, I laugh more than I thought that I did. I thought that I didn't perceive me laughing that much. Like I didn't know I laughed that much. But I'm kind of the guy that Abby will tell a joke and she's like, nothing, nothing, any reaction?
Mm,
I'm like, no, no, it was really funny. It's just I'm laughing inside. Uh, but I can be pretty stoic. I can be really, really stoic, and I think to grieve is it, it's real feeling.
yeah. There's this I don't know, we'd call this characterization of depression as a black dog that like follows you around, right?
Mm,
Um, and I've always wondered like what is the equivalent of that for grief, right? It's like, I don't know.
mm,
I've always pictured it as like the sad little balloon that's tied to your wrist.
mm,
But like, you remember when it flew and it's not
mm,
flying anymore, but you can't let it go.
mm. Wow, that's a beautiful visual. The deflated balloon hanging from a wrist. Hmm. All right, what's the worst of grief?
I intentionally didn't think about this because I didn't want to skew my thing. So let me find the word for this. Um, I said it before, completely unrelated, which means it's one of those words I need to look at. Stagnation. It's
Destination.
halting and not moving forward because you're trapped in it.
Yeah.
Like when my mom died, I was 20. Um, and I stagnated. I mean, I didn't. I got drunk and ignored it, right? But like there was years where like I wasn't making progress. Like I was just making decisions that I knew would keep me in place because I was grieving. And I'm trying to be more conscious about that now. My father passing with 20 years of dealing with the aftermath of that grief process. And now grieving as are we 20? Are we adults when we're 20? As like a full grown adult now. And trying to like, yeah, okay, like I can grieve, I can have this experience, I'm in this experience, but I'm not letting myself stagnate.
And not letting yourself stagnate.
Right. Like feel all the emotions, feel all the feelings, cry in public, whatever you need to do, but like don't stop moving.
Yes. It's incredible how you used all of the words from the shadow side, trapped, not moving, drunk, the aftermath, the lack of consciousness, like the worst of celebration and the worst of grief. Like, yeah, I didn't say, I don't, what's the worst of grief? the words that come to my mind are dark and self-destructive.
Mm.
And when I think about this, I'm estranged from my daughter, and she's 24. I haven't seen her in about a decade. Um,
Mm.
and sometimes I feel like I'm kind of not an asshole for not grieving more. Um, However, I I am not going to be a dark, self-destructive person because what does that do? I want to be a bright, shining light of happiness, and I don't want hurt that's happening to me. I don't want to be the domino that creates more hurt for everybody around me. And so this idea of like grieving constantly to the point of just being this dark, self-destructive person. It's funny talking about looking at your journals and the growing up. I just was paging through some photos. I'm trying to find a photo for a story that I'm writing, and I'm like looking through old photos, and I found myself dressed up to my senior prom wearing all black, black everything, black gloves, like a black suit with a black tie.
Mm.
And I had like my heart was broken earlier that year. The poor girl that I went to the prom with, she was a lovely, lovely young woman who I was just like Mr. Dark, Mr. Dark man who's still grieving his ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
in, instead of enjoying the company of this my lovely date. But yeah, like literally to the point as a teenager being like, I'm just gonna dress in darkness and be like Mr. Morbid. That's what I think about the downside of
Mm.
grief. Um,
Yeah. Just it's kind of echoing what we were talking about with the worst of celebration. It's like the, you know, self-destructive, but also destructive to like who you're around and who you're with.
yeah. Oh, it hurts other people.
Yeah.
They both do, right? Um, yeah, so I what I like to do is kind of uh not use the words like celebration and grief are the topic, right? Like it's like
Mm.
these are the tension I'm dealing with. And so how do I move in a direction that's towards the synergy and beware of the trap, beware of the dark side,
Hmm.
right? And like when I look at the best of the best, the synergy, it's like unfettered enthusiasm, joy, party, dancing, consciousness, care, feeling, connected, like the best of both of these things, like to be totally enthusiastic and feeling. I mean, it really is your story that you read. Like your story was laugh out loud funny and felt
Heavy
like
and heavy.
and connected,
Mm.
funny and connected, like at the same time. Um, we like to try
Maybe
to
the
come
best of
up
the
like
best is enthusiastic connection.
enthusiastic
Like,
connection. Yeah,
you know, it encompasses the others, right? Like,
Mm. Enthusiastic connection. I'm gonna say my one word for the
oh, it's
best of the
supposed to be
best.
one
It could be,
word.
it
Uh-oh.
doesn't have to be one word. It could
Yeah.
be one word or short phrase. So enthusiastic connection is, and you come up with as many as you want. Um, my one
Start
word
with your
that
one.
just popped into my mind for the best of the best is hug.
Ooh, yeah. Like a big bear hug.
It's a celebration and it's truly feeling and being connected.
So maybe if I had to choose one word, I'm gonna go with the best word in this pile, which is, but I'm gonna change the part of speech. It's unfettering. So
Unfettering.
like taking whatever limitations, boundaries, box you find yourself in and just letting yourself break out of it.
Unboxed.
Ooh,
Unfettered.
unboxed.
Unboxed.
I like that. Unboxed. Yeah.
All right. There's this shadow side that we want to avoid. We want to avoid the aftermath, the self-destruction, the stagnation.
One word, drag.
Drag. What a drag.
What a drag, dragging your feet, being dragged into the depths. Drag.
Yeah. It's directionless. I'm looking at your words and it's like it's directionless and it's stagnant and it's a drag. I'm looking at my words and it's like it's a dark, self-destructive aftermath. It's like s- it's suffering's too easy of a word.
Popping your own balloon.
It's popping your own balloon. It's popping other people's balloons. It's like it's
Mm.
just being it's being a drag to everybody else too. I mean, it's like it, but you're
Being it's
hurting
being the
your
needle, the pin. Yeah, like
yeah,
the
yeah, it's being the source of
mm,
suffering. To me, it's like not I am suffering and I'm also the source of suffering for other people. Like other people are hurting because I just keep on being the worst of celebration and the worst of grief and I'm just this source of suffering, which is a drag to hang out with that person. Like, no, it's just I don't want to go hang out with Andrew. He's a drag. Like I feel drained whenever we leave their
ooh,
place.
drained,
Drained.
drain.
Drain. There it is. If I'm the
Yeah.
worst of the worst, I'm a drain.
Mm,
Don't be a drag. Don't be a drain.
yeah. I had a really good friend in college who was like just negative about everything.
Mhm.
Everything. And you just, yeah, it was fine for a while, but like after a few years, I was like, my man, like, can we just not like smile about something? We don't need to call this any names. Like, we can just like, and he was a drain, like a conversational, just like energy drain in any
Mhm.
situation. And he wasn't an unhappy guy. I mean, probably was really, if that's how it was being expressed, but like he would never have admitted, I don't know now, but at the time he wouldn't have admitted being unhappy. It was just like, yeah, we complain about everything. Like, it was just like, we've got to stop hanging out. I can't do this anymore. Like you're killing my like unrelenting optimism and positivity mode here. Like I can't have this. Um, but yeah, I do. I think the worst of the worst is being drained and draining everyone else as a result.
Hmm. Energy vampire.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I was looking for that term. Yeah. Yeah. I'm super sensitive to that. I have to be careful, especially like teach. I still teach. And language teaching is very much conversational. So I tend to get in a lot of conversations with students. And I have a couple who are just like, I know going in, like, I need to have my rocks around me. I need to burn some incense. I need to smudge my space, put up a bubble. Yeah, and like do my best not to like get sucked into it.
Put a giant
Yeah.
mirror behind you so that they can see the energy vampire. That's why they
Yeah,
can't
it
see
just feels like
themselves in the
an
mirror.
hour of just deflecting negativity. Yeah. But
Hmm.
I think,
Wow.
being conscious of it. I think anytime I've noticed myself slipping into that, like, oh, I'm draining everybody around me with my own emotions, like, and it's not connecting, like not sharing that isn't a good thing, but that's why I sought therapy. I was like, hey, I need to talk about this, and I don't want to like keep weighing down all my like friends' conversations.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna pay somebody to listen to me complain and cry and help me process this stuff. I'm like, PSA to everybody, therapy is such a good thing.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Therapy, coaching.
Mm,
I, I, I'm a firm believer that anything that we want to be great at, having a, a professional counsel, you know,
mm,
whether that be a coach or a therapist or both, like, um, I like to use the word coach because I think about it in other areas. Like if I truly want to be excellent at writing, then I would need to have a writing coach. I mean, I'm the best in the world at anything. There's nobody in the Olympics or any professional sport or any the I would think that the best actors in the world have
oh,
acting coaches, right? Um,
just acting coaches, vocal coaches, physical like space, energy, movement coaches. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
all these
yeah,
things. If you want to be really good at it, whatever it is, you want to have a coach, right? And
or
so
a
I'm like,
team.
yeah, team. And to think that like I would like to be great at mental health, you know? Like that feels like something that should want to strive to be really good at. And to think that I'm going to pay money for, guitar lessons and I'm going to pay money for writing for a writing coach and I'm going to whatever it is, I'm gonna invest money into my golf lessons. Like, can I invest money into my mental health, please? Like, talk to a professional who's good at helping me sort my brain out.
Yeah.
It's if yeah, that's my pitch for therapy and coaching.
Mm,
If you wanna be great at good mental health, get yourself a coach, get yourself a
yeah.
therapist.
Yeah. And then actually go
Yeah.
and actually. actually actually do the work and, like be vulnerable. It's like I had a friend who went to therapy and was like, I stopped going because, like it wasn't working. And I was like, we all have trauma. Big, small, doesn't matter. Like everything is perspective. Like, what do you mean it wasn't working? Like,
Mhm.
were you being honest? Like, were you actually saying like what you were feeling or just what would get you out of the room quickest? Yeah, because I think like once you go in there, the healthiest seeming person goes into therapy and like within 4 sessions, like you're destroyed, right? But it's just so you can rebuild better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a total convert too. I gotta say, like, there was definitely an Andrew in the past that was like, therapy's for weak people and that therapy's
Mm,
dumb and like that's, I don't need somebody to listen to me and blah blah blah. I was definitely that very um I would say just don't not a caring person about it, right? I was just didn't think. And
yeah.
for me it was whenever I had I went through a divorce,
Mm,
and I was like, we have to go to marriage counseling, like we have to go, and I ended up finding a therapist and going alone. It was like, I'm going to marriage
mm,
counseling. Nobody's with
mhm,
me because I'm doing this thing alone, but I thought I was going to this woman to save a marriage. And it was, I don't know how many sessions in. I was like, 3 months had gone by, and she's like, so, are you ready? Are you ready to work, on
mm,
yourself now? And I was like, are you ready to admit that marriage is over and you got some other stuff here? And it's like, oh my God.
mm,
I Yeah, it was a complete like Tommy the Who smashing the mirror moment, like any metaphor that has anything to do with a mirror or smashing a mirror and seeing yourself for the first time and everything just like it was it was life changing to go to therapy. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been in and out since I was 20. No, since I was like 18. Um, and right when like things got, like I said, that period of time in my 20s when I was like taking tequila shots before work and like
Mhm.
riding my bike to work right after, like, and I was like, this is the one good thing. I have always been very self-aware. Like
Mhm.
even in the darkness of that time, I was like, this isn't good. Let's let's tone this down a little bit. And then I realized I was having trouble toning it down, and I was like, oh shit. Like that's it. Threw myself headfirst into therapy and like never looked back. I was like, nope, that's
Mhm.
we're not going down this road. Like we can't afford that. So yeah, I think plenty, and there's always like, yeah, there's breaks. You're like, I'm feeling good, life's busy, like, I'm gonna take this break, but I'm always really quick to be like, oh, like my mind's spinning again. Like
Mhm.
I need to process this verbally and not just like written in my own journal. Like,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, wow. It's incredible to have that self-awareness through it. Um, I think a lot of us are not self-aware, uh, and just going and not knowing why is
mm,
probably a great thing. Just to get unboxed.
get unboxed. Exactly. Get unboxed, you drag.
Yeah. Hey, you're a drag. Go get unboxed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I like this game a lot. It like I said, I was trying not to think about it too much, and like I knew I wanted to read the story, but I wasn't trying to think about the story in light of this. It was just like there's
Hmm.
some strong themes here, but like I'm trying not to like have like a binary look at it. Um, but I love the applicability. Is that a word? Like the fact that this concept of like best and worst and best of the best like can apply to literally anything in your life,
Hmm.
and really just shed a light, like shine a light on what actually is going on beneath the surface, right? Because like, you know, if we go back to the dressing and stuffing issue, right? Like the best part of dressing is variety, but
Hmm.
like the stuffing also is like imbued with flavors. So like, that's arguably better. But if you want a little bit of a slightly different taste, if you want to like play on it,
Yeah.
if you want it really crispy, like, you gotta go dressing.
Yeah, and see, there's where like play one of the things that's fun is so there'll be like a real either or, right? Do you want to go to the beach or the mountains?
Hmm.
And if you play the game, what happens is when you figure out what's the worst, and I'll do like we're only going to make one thing. Are we going to make dressing or stuffing, right? And so if we play the game and it just turns out that the best of the best is imbued with flavor and crispy
Hmm.
and lots of variety. And like the worst of the worst is like soggy and dry or something. Like whatever it turns out the worst of the worst is, then you get to pick whichever one. You get to pick like, oh, let's make the dressing, but let's take the juices from the bird and pour it in, and maybe make
Exactly.
sure we put it on the broiler to like crisp it up or whatever. Like, oh no, but I really do want to stuff it in the bird because that's important to me to cook it that way. And it's like, yeah, but I really like the crispiness. So okay, let's make sure that we take it out and put it in a pan real
Hmm.
thin and crisp it up at the end. So you can you can become aware of the best of both of these options and strive in that direction, even though you're still actually choosing one.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, you can end up at the beach or you can end up in the mountains, but you can avoid the thing that you can avoid the worst of the worst of them. Like, oh, we ended up at the beach,
Yeah.
but we don't have a pool, and the thing that I hate is all the sand. So like I ended up at the worst of a beach place instead of,
Mm.
oh, I love the mountains because it's got a great view. And it's like, oh, well, we ended up at the beach, but we ended up at a place with a beautiful view and a pool because we
Hmm.
thought about the best of the mountains. So yeah, I just feel like anytime, whenever I hear now I'm in meetings, people are like, well, are we going to do this or that? It's like, there's there, this is an
Why would we do
opportunity.
either?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's great. Like to be able to identify, because like we live blind, right? Like we live just in habits and routine, and you make decisions. You're like, well, we're going to the beach because it's summer, and that's what we do in the summer, right? But it's like, why? Well, the
Yeah.
Czechs have the most ridiculous Christmas tradition. Their Christmas dinner is fried carp and
Hmm.
potato salad. Now, I'm not a fried carp girl, but like
Mhm.
if you like that, great. If you like potato salad, great. That's all they make. And whenever I talk to a student about it, they're like, "No, we actually like really hate carp, but it's tradition." Like, hold on, guys. Like, why are we forcing ourselves to eat something we don't like?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why can't we, like, what is it about it that you love? Okay, the tradition, everybody cooks together. You know, you have the whole family over, great. If everybody would prefer to eat fried chicken, then let's make that, right?
Yeah.
And you still have the same vibe, but nobody's like sitting there feeding the dog under the table.
Yeah. Yeah, and there might be, yeah, and who knows what happens if we talk about the best of fried carp, right? Like there's who knows what comes out in the locals' minds about memories of grandmas or who knows what's and something that somebody did that got lost in translation through the years. But I've
I'll give
been,
you a preview.
yeah, I
I'll
want
give you a
it.
preview of a story I'm writing.
Yes.
They keep the carp in the bathtub.
Oh,
Every
nice.
Czech family, a week before Christmas, has a large carp in their bathtub. Live.
I can't wait to read the story. I'll give you my preview. I'm writing my Christmas story right now, which is when I was somehow put into a position to play Santa Claus to the point where I got so drunk I blacked out and was destructive.
Oh, oh, drunken Santa Claus.
Drunken.
Was not on my bingo card, but that's a good one.
Yeah. There'll be a positive message in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Holiday cheer. Yeah.
Oh man, this has been so much fun, Stephanie. Oh my gosh. I hope I get to see you at the writing. I'm coming back. I'm going to come
Oh,
back in a
baby.
half an hour and join the
Yeah, me
writing
too.
crew. Um, and I'm excited to learn more about all of the work you do in design because um, I'm hoping to be your client here soon, so we'll figure that out.
Yeah. Well, you're about to see the cover of the book, which I designed. So look forward to
Yes, so you definitely will be there. Okay.
that. Yeah.
This is fantastic. This has been so much fun. Um, let's do it again.
Yeah.
And I get to see you in like
Next time you read.
next time I read. Okay, that would be lovely.
Uh,
I appreciate you offering that. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna see you in a half hour, right? I think.
See you soon. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. I'll see you.
Yeah. Thank you for this. This was fun.
Yeah. I appreciate you.